Hey friends, welcome back to Acre Homestead. My name is Becky and today we are going to be actually doing some landscaping in our front yard. Over the last 9 months, my husband and I have not really touched our front yard landscaping and it has gotten out of control. And it's kind of gotten to the point where we don't have the ability to try to get it under control with our work schedule and all the other things we have going on in our lives. So we have hired some help to come in and help us. But I and my dad are actually going to be working alongside the man we hired so that we can get more done. We're going to try to get the landscaping back to a point where we can actually manage it. The previous owner had done some beautiful landscaping, but some of the perennials have just gotten too big and we need to kind of cut some of that back and just kind of tone everything down. We're going to lay some wood chips and do some things so that the weeds will be under control. It'll be easier for me and my husband to actually maintain our front yard and our landscaping because our front yard is pretty big. We do live on 1 acre and probably the front half of the house is probably a good third of an acre. It's pretty big and so it's a lot to manage. And this vlog is going to be over a couple days. I'm going to be at work tomorrow and the man we hired is actually going to start working. He's going to work a half day tomorrow. So I won't be here as he's working, but I want to make sure that today I get some before footage so we know what it's going to look like before and so we can kind of track the progress. So my front porch is here and when you come around here, there's this beautiful Chinese maple, but it has overgrown so much that when I pull my car out of the garage, it's starting to hit on the side of this Chinese maple every day. Because I park my car in this bay, and so this has to just be cut back. And you can't actually even see the front of my house because the Chinese maple is so big. So we're gonna clean that up. And the area that he's gonna start working on tomorrow, and just this walkway is just so overgrown, is this area here. There's some very beautiful lilies and peonies and just a ton of really beautiful flowers in here, but everything is just so overgrown and there are some massive weeds. That's a volunteer tree. We have a couple volunteer trees. These are all weeds here that need to be cleaned up. Here's a volunteer tree here that needs to be cleaned up, but there's some really beautiful perennials in here that we're gonna save. But our plan is to try to give some breathing room in here and take some of these lilies and cut them back and just make it so that your eye has an area to rest between each plant so you can kind of enjoy each plant versus this being a jungly mess because you just can't, there's just too much, it's too much. So, and then we're gonna weed it and it's just needs to be cleaned up. So this is the before. All of these are weeds here and there's another beautiful Chinese maple here, but you can't see it because of the weeds. There is a dead hydrangea back there, so we're gonna pull out that dead hydrangea. Oh, do you see the hummingbird? That's a hummingbird. So coming around from the front of the house, there is just this area in here where it's just so overgrown and there's just too many weeds. We're also gonna bark chip all underneath all these plants. We're gonna cut this Japanese maple back. We're gonna get all these weeds out. There is a barrier between where it's supposed to be landscaped and the lawn, but that has just got completely overgrown. There's grasses growing in here and you can just see how overgrown all of this is. So we're gonna be trimming this back, cutting this back, and trying to clean this up. We're gonna be wood chipping all in here, taking just tons of these weeds out. You can't even see, there should be a barrier here, a stone path right here along the entire grass area, and it's just gotten completely overgrown and it's just a mess. And then we have some dead things in here. Whatever plant that is, that needs to be trimmed back there. It is alive, but all the dead growth is in there, so we need to cut that back. Over here we have a dead hydrangea that needs to be taken out. That one needs to be taken out. Coming around from there, we have this cool island thing in between our yard and there's some really cool, there's a rhododendron here, there's some really cool ferns, but there's blackberries growing in there. There's a really beautiful hydrangea. This was the only hydrangea that actually bloomed this year because we had that 115-degree weather. This was the only one that had, I probably have 15 hydrangeas on my property and last year I had hundreds of blooms, but this was the only one we got this year. That's a hydrangea that's not doing well due to all the heat we had this year. Everything is just way overgrown. There's no area for your eye to relax. That is a volunteer tree right here. There's blackberries. Volunteer trees just means that a squirrel planted it. this is actually all garlic. This is all elephant garlic that I never got around to harvesting because I don't know if it's wild or the previous owner planted it, but we just need to come in and clean all this up. We have blackberries growing all in here that need to be taken care of. So the goal is for these 3 days that we're going to be working is to try to get this whole front yard taken care of. We do have areas in the back that need to be maintained, but this is the area we're going to be focusing on during these next 3 days that we're going to be working out here. And this is what I'm looking forward to the most, because this, you just can't see, you can't enjoy any of the flowers because you can't see each individual thing because it's just too much. And I can't even get in there to weed when I had time to weed, because there's no room between any of the plants. So tomorrow while I'm at work, he is actually gonna come and focus on this area. He's gonna spend about 4 or 5 hours working on this area and then cutting back this Japanese maple so that I can pull in and out of the garage without having the side of my car being swiped on, which I am starting to worry that it's gonna start damaging my car. It hasn't yet, but it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I'm worried that that's gonna be a problem coming soon. So we'll just see tomorrow. I'll show you an update of what this area looks like tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about what this is going to turn into because you just can't, I mean, look at that. It's a jungle. There's some really beautiful plants in there. There's some beautiful ferns. There's really beautiful peonies and irises and calla lilies in here, but you just can't see or enjoy anything even when they were blooming because there's just too much. So I just pulled up to my house and there is some serious progress going on. So Thomas came today. Can you see? You can actually see my house now. You could not see my house yesterday at all. So this tree, he did a fantastic job. He said he was gonna do it like a natural style because these Japanese maples, I don't like when they have just like a cut, like a cone shape over them. Sorry, I have a bug bite on my hand. That's why you're gonna see that circle there. But he did a natural style, so it looks really natural, and it was all the way down to here, and I might ask him to trim a few more of those up so I can actually pull into the garage there. But you can see underneath it, it feels like this tree can breathe now, and look at this, you guys. And this is what I was wanting. When I was saying I want it to be able to, like, you could look in here and be able to have it breathe, I mean, this just looks so much better. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You couldn't even see this yesterday because there was so much overgrowth, and he left that in there. I actually forgot I need to run to Home Depot because I forgot there were some products that I need to have for the landscaper, but I wanted to show you all the edging that was done. You couldn't even see these bricks here yesterday like I was showing you, and Thomas didn't even think he was going to get this far yesterday, and he made it all the way around here. I mean, there's still a lot more work that needs to be done, but look how much nicer this looks, and it's just gonna look nicer and nicer. I could not be happier with how this is already going. So tomorrow, my dad and I and Thomas are gonna be here at 8 a.m. and we're gonna work 8 hours on it. So I'm gonna head to Home Depot now and get Preem. It's called Pre-Emergent. It's basically, it inhibits seeds from germinating, which all of those in there, it looks kind of messy. I mean, it looks way better than it did, but all those plants in there are all perennials. I have calla lilies and peonies and daylilies and a bunch of different, and just lilies and a bunch of different things in there. So this Preem is not going to affect those plants, but it's going to affect the weed seeds from germinating. And then we're going to be getting the bark dust on top. So I'm just super happy with the progress we're making. It's getting me really excited for this project. I now know that there is going to be a huge transformation. My dad found Thomas, and so I, didn't know anything. I didn't really talk to him much, so I didn't really know exactly what the plan was. Or, I mean, I knew what the plan was. I told him what I wanted, but I didn't know if he understood my vision, and he understood my vision. So this is going to be great. I know that this project, it's going to be a weight off my shoulders. It is costing us a little bit of money, but right now I just do not have the time to do this, and I don't have the education and the knowledge to know what I would be doing anyway. I've kind of spent all my time in researching how to grow vegetables, and I don't know much about landscaping plants, and so this is going to be an education for me because I'm able to work alongside Thomas, and he's going to be directing me and my dad. My dad knows a lot about landscaping, but Thomas is going to be the expert on this project, so he's going to be directing my dad and I and telling us what to do. And so what this is going to allow me to do is, by him jump starting this project and getting it under control, because it was not under control, but it's getting us to the place where my dad and I, because my dad likes to do landscaping, and if you watch any of my really early videos, my dad comes and he helps me do my landscaping for me. We do it together, but it was so overwhelming for my dad and I that we couldn't wrap our brains around what needed to be done, and we needed the professional help to jumpstart this, get it under control, so that when my dad comes over, him and I can keep it maintained. The reason it's me and my dad that usually does this is because I do it on days that I have off and my husband's working. And so my husband does a lot of stuff around here. He's just behind the scenes and he doesn't like to be on camera, so you don't see him, but he works just as hard as I do and as my dad does on my property. But usually I text my dad on a Friday when my husband's working and my dad comes over and we get stuff done. So it's kind of fun for him and I. It's something we do together. My dad's retired, so it's just awesome, and you'll meet him tomorrow. And let's go to Home Depot. I'm just blabbering and blabbering. I'm still in my driveway, so don't worry that I'm driving, but I am going to turn you off and we're going to go get some of that preem stuff. Good morning. It is 7:31. I haven't done anything yet. I just got up and I'm trying to get the dishwasher unloaded and loaded so that I can have a clean kitchen. Thomas and my dad are supposed to be here at 8 a.m. and I want to just rinse off and change and brush my teeth and things like that before they get here. But you know I can't start my day without getting the sink emptied. So we're gonna get the sink emptied. I have my coffee pot running, and then we are gonna be able to go get ready to do a bunch of yard work this morning. So my dad just got here. This is my dad, Mark. And what we're gonna be doing, tell them what our plans are for the day.
Well, I think we're following the gardener or the landscaper who's trying to clear out all the beds.
Yeah.
And then we're going to follow in behind, and we're going to use bark chips, and we're going to come in and do all the beds and make them look nice today. Edge them and make them look nice.
Got a bunch of cedar chips that are really gorgeous, so we are gonna probably put them all in these beds. We're gonna do a test bed to see how we like the look. And if we don't, then I might buy wood chips, but we're hoping that this works for us. So we're just gonna get started.
And preen is a pre-emergent, so we're going to try to prevent weeds from coming back.
Yeah.
So we'll put it underneath the wood chips.
Awesome. Okay, let's get going.
A lot easier.
So the first thing my dad and I are gonna tackle right now is he is gonna cut an edge along the grass, because if we were to just put the wood chips on here without cutting an edge and kind of making an indent, the wood chips are just gonna fall into the grass and it's not gonna sit nicely. So he is shoveling to make an indent here, and then I'm gonna go by and dig it out just a little bit so that when we place the wood chips, they'll kind of bury into the side of the grass there.
Notice a huge difference. Yeah, make an edge down about 2 inches.
Okay.
Maybe 3. All kind of.
You can come back with the shovel and dig this dirt out.
Yep.
So we are officially working hard. We've got, my dad right now is trimming back my lilac bush right here so that it's a little bit away from the house, because you want to make sure that when you have plants up against your house, you want at least 12 inches from your house. You don't want plants touching your house, so that's what he's working on there. And then what I'm working on, taking this edge and trying to level out the dirt, because there are some really dippy spots in here, and so I'm pulling away the dirt from the grass. There's going to be a nice smooth transition right here. It looks really nice. So I want to get, like right over here, the rest of the areas looking as smooth as, say, right there does. So this is coming along really nicely. My dad is coming around, we're calling this zone 1, and he's coming around this side, which I didn't even show this area yesterday. It's a weedy mess too. That's a volunteer tree that planted itself this last summer. And so we're gonna get all the way around here. So we're just keep working. I also wanted to update over here. We've got this edge all trimmed and trimmed out right here. I just have to smooth this area too. And then we'll hopefully pretty soon start laying some wood chips. There's a lot more here than we thought. We're making great progress over here. We're doing the same thing over here where we dug a little trench along the side of the grass and trying to get about a 3-inch divot there. And then we're gonna smooth all this out so that we can put bark dust all in here, and it's gonna look really nice. This is the side yard area that had that huge tree right here. This is the stopping point at the corner of this house. We are gonna do this area in a different day, but we've gotten this far done, and look how much better this looks. All these roses are pruned back. The roses were literally this window, the screen is off, and the roses were, you can see some petals right there. The roses were growing into the house, so I need to get that screen put back on properly. What we're doing now that we have our beds prepped and ready to go to put the mulch on, we're putting preen. I bought this at Home Depot, but I'll link it on Amazon down in the description box if you want to check it out. This is an extended control weed prevention, and it says it's supposed to last up to 6 months, and you're supposed to apply it every 6 months to help prevent the weed seeds from germinating. We're putting a nice thick layer of it on, and then you're supposed to water it in. And I would never put this anywhere near my garden, but this is the front half of my property, about a ½ acre from my garden bed, so I'm not that worried about it. This area has gotten so out of control. I need something that's gonna help me keep this under control, and that is why we are using this product, and I'm pretty excited about it. So we're just gonna put a nice liberal layer in all the beds that we just prepped, and then we're gonna get on to the next step. My dad's applying, sorry how washed out it is, the preem all around the front of the house and around the side of the house. I'm putting it on the side of the driveway, and you can see how much farther Thomas has gotten. Down here, he's gotten all the way to the end of the driveway, and it's looking so much better. I mean, remember how bad this looked? You couldn't even see the retaining wall. So I'm taking the preem and putting it between the grass, the retaining wall, to keep weeds from coming up here, and I'm putting it all in this bed as well. We called an audible here. You remember that half was ground cover, and it did not make this front area balanced underneath this tree. So we decided to tear up all the ground cover. I'm tearing up this kind of dead fern here, and then we're gonna put the bark dust all in here, and it's gonna look a lot more balanced, not so hodgepodge. Here, this way. So it's 12:03 and I'm in the Chick-fil-A parking lot. I had to go run to pick up some raw milk. I order raw milk once a week now. I found a local area where I can get raw milk in my area. And if I realized this was the day we were doing all the yard work, I wouldn't have ordered it this week. But because I had to go run and pick that up, I figured I'm in the Chick-fil-A parking lot. I'm gonna pick us up some Chick-fil-A. We'll sit down and relax. It's 12:03 right now. We'll relax for a little bit. We got the beds all prepped and ready to go. And the next step is the wood chips. When we get back, we're gonna do wood chips this afternoon.
The sun's shining.
I have these beautiful cedar chips. I actually got these for free. These are a mixture of leaves and chips, so we're gonna focus on using these because these are just chips. And they should hold up really nicely. They were free, so they're definitely light. If I was to buy chips, I probably would buy the really dark, like almost black. But I think this is gonna look really nice, and they were free, and we're just gonna get going. This is the exciting part. This is where it's gonna start to look really nice, so I'm excited about this. We're gonna spread it out and see how we like the color. Those will all break down. You see how there's that ledge, and we're just tucking it right in that. There we go. Yeah, because if we hadn't have done that, it would just be going onto the concrete.
Yep. A lot of work, but gonna pay off. Fun.
I think it looks nice. Do you like it?
Yeah. Let me step back and take a look at it.
For free. So I have these wood chips that I got from tripdrop.com, and I have kind of 3 levels of quality of chips here when it comes to landscaping chips. These chips here, the ones that we've been using this whole time to landscape the very front of the yard, are the best because it's mostly just wood. And then this pile right here is probably 50% green matter and 50% wood. And the one back there is probably about 70% wood and the rest green matter. The reason that makes a difference is green matter is going to decompose a lot faster than the wood chips, And so because these are in the front and they are the most aesthetically pleasing, we're using these. We're going to use these in the front and then along the side of the driveway. But since we cleared out that side yard, I want to use these kind of lesser quality because they're not going to look as aesthetically pleasing. I mean, they still look fine, but they're going to start to break down a little bit faster, and I kind of want like an even look in the front of the yard. So that is why now I'm going to start getting from this pile, and this is what's going to go on the side of the house. That's kind of the thing when you get free wood chips, you don't really know what you're getting. And so that's why I'm just trying to think strategic and plan it out and use the wood chips that are the most aesthetically pleasing in the place that we're going to drive by and neighbors are going to see and things like that. And it's just something you got to do. I think it's worth it because I don't know how much this would have cost if I bought all this as bark dust.
You can tell Dwayne my question, and then we can do that on the phone.
So we're kind of wrapping up today. We got that side yard done, which I showed you already. And then can you see, you can actually see the front of my house. It's absolutely incredible. I cannot believe all the work that was done up there. And then one of the biggest things that was done today was done by Thomas. And I want to just show you how well you can see now. But all the bushes have been trimmed up. All the perennials have been cut back. You can just see how you can actually see individual plants now. And it just looks so much better. All the dead hydrangeas are out and all the dead bushes are out, and it just looks so much better. That was a lot of work. And we're not done, but we are getting so much closer and the progress is incredible. I hope it's showing up on camera for you guys how much better it's looking. I am hot, I'm sweaty, I'm itchy. I just weeded a ton actually by our shop, just because Thomas has his trailer here and he's letting us put, you know, yard debris. I can't believe how much yard debris he has in his trailer. It's incredible the amount he can pack into there. So I wanted to get that weeding back there done so that I could put that in there. Now it is time for me to take a shower and I have to edit a video tonight. I think I'm gonna make French toast for dinner because we have a ton of eggs and I have some bread that needs to be eaten in the refrigerator. And so that's gonna be an easy dinner tonight, just super easy, super simple. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It is the next day since I saw you guys last. So my dad, I was actually out here doing a huge harvest on some apples and seeds and beans and all sorts of things. And he called and said, I can come over right now. And when he's available, I am available. So I'm stopping that harvest right now and we are gonna continue to do some wood chips. I'm sitting on the tractor or lawnmower here and we're gonna continue wood chipping. We're gonna work on that area that's right along the driveway. And he's inside changing, he just got here. We just ate 2 apples from the apple tree. So we got some carbohydrates in us. We're ready to work, it's hot, but it's gonna be a great day. So let's just get started. If you wanna watch that massive harvest video, I'll leave it up here or down in the description. So let's just scratch all those things I just said about the tractor. My husband, we've got this work truck that we bought for $200 and it's a work truck. Basically go to the dump, go to Home Depot, whatever. And my husband had the idea last night, why don't we fill this up with the wood chips and then it's way less trips. So my dad and I are gonna try it. We might not like it, but we'll just see how it goes. So what we've done is this area all here. My dad's on the phone with my nephews. They think it's cool that I drove the truck on the grass now. So I am loading it and then we empty the truck together and then my dad's been smoothing it out. But right now my nephews, Hudson and Everett. Hi Hudson and Everett. They're watching. They're 2 of my biggest fans. They really like to watch my YouTube videos. It's cute. Whew. So I'm on my 3rd truckload. I'm driving in my property, so it's fine. This is just my driveway. And my goodness, yes, the truck is by far, we're going on the back side of my shop right now. And it's a mess too that needs to be cleaned up, but another day. So the truck, I can probably get 10 or so wheelbarrow like loads from the lawnmower. So it's definitely more efficient, but when I'm doing that, at least I get a break every time I have to go back and forth. And so this is a lot more tiring for me, but it's more efficient. And if it's more efficient, it means we need to do it because my dad's here and we need to get as much done while my dad's here as possible. I'm getting this last load we're gonna do for today filled up, and my mom decided to head on over because she was babysitting my niece. My niece lives not too far from me, and so she figured she would stop by on her way home. Say hi, Mom. She found some pears I missed.
Who is it?
Oh, it's YouTube.
Oh. Hi, friends. So good to see you. Don't you just love watching Becky's videos? I am blessed every time I watch one. I know how much work goes into this garden. And I've helped a little bit, so I get eggs for life.
That's right. She gets eggs for life. My mom normally helps on these work days, but she got a sore shoulder, so she can't help this time.
Babysitting all day, another grandkid.
Yeah, she was babysitting, so she's going through and picking snacks, and my dad just ate another apple, and
I love
she's eating tomatoes. I said she can eat whatever she finds.
Oh, look at what I found.
And,
I know, they grow all over my garden. Can you guys see what that is?
It's a coffee cup.
There's an infestation of coffee cups in this garden.
Oh.
I know, those are beautiful tomatoes.
Those are gorgeous tomatoes.
This is the
Are these the ones you were talking about that you thought weren't going to do anything, that didn't get watered?
Yep, and they're definitely my.
Plant these again.
Yeah, I'm going to. They're big beefs, which is not a fancy variety.
I never can get them to grow because they're growing. Here's tomatillos.
Yep. So this is our last load for today. We've been working for about 2 hours, give or take, and we got 4 truckloads. So pretty productive.
Looking gorgeous.
It's nice having a camera person.
Making a guest appearance, the mom and dad.
People are really excited, Mom, for your when we do Thanksgiving and Christmas prep.
Yeah, that will be good.
So we got all the way in 2 hours from all the way over there, right around here mulched, all the way to right there. So yesterday my dad and I had 6 hours in us. We did not have 6 hours in us today. 2 was our max, and we're both tired and feeling it, but we're happy with the progress we got done today. We still need to mulch all the way the rest of the way around, and then Tomas is going to be doing this part on Saturday, and so my dad is going to be out of town, so we're not going to get to that for a couple days. I'm definitely going to keep using that truck because that saved a lot of time. It made me more tired because I didn't get as many breaks, but I'd rather be efficient and just power through. So we're cleaning up. I'm going to say bye to my parents, and I'm super grateful for them willing to come out and always help me on my property. So I lied. I said we were done for the night, but we're not. I'm not. I should say my parents went home. But my porch, you couldn't even see prior to all this work that's been done. The plants kind of were about halfway up this porch. You couldn't see the railing. You could barely see the posts. And my husband and I, when we were looking at all the work we did yesterday, I was like, you know what would look nice? If those porch railings were white. And my dad is going to be here tomorrow, and my mom, she has a bad shoulder, so she can't help us with the yard work, but she can help paint. And so she's like, I want to paint that. So I'm going to get it cleaned up so that we can actually paint the posts and the railings white, and it'll actually kind of pop my porch. So I've got my broom out. I'm going to dust all the cobwebs. I got a bucket right there and some hot soapy water, and I'm just going to wipe everything down so it's going to be nice and clean so that when she paints tomorrow, it'll be all set and ready for her. This is probably a good thing we're doing this anyway, because some of this paint is starting to peel back, and to protect the wood, it's probably good that we get another layer of paint on here. Now I'm officially done. We got the whole entire railing and post wiped down. I did go ahead and wipe down just in case my mom has time to paint around the window just so it's the same color white. And then I did clean around the door because if she has time as well, we could paint around the trim of the door as well. So I am gonna go ahead and go inside, throw a freezer meal in the oven. I thawed a tetrazzini from the last freezer meal video I did. If you wanna watch that, it will be linked up here or down in the description box below. And that's why I make freezer meals, so we can have homemade, home-cooked dinner, and I don't have to worry about it, and I can get things like this done. So my parents just got here.
Hi there.
And my mom's gonna paint my front porch. I was just showing them this big harvest I just did this morning, so if you wanna watch that video,
wow.
It probably is out already. And now we are gonna get working on landscaping.
All right, well, my shoes are actually in the paint box in the front porch.
I have to go run and fill the gas tank up for the truck because we used it to empty yesterday. My mom just ran to Home Depot and got some bright white exterior paint, nothing special. And she's gonna roll and brush, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
And you already washed it.
Yep, I
Becky
washed it. I washed it last night. All right, I'm gonna go get gas and I'll be right back. Look how fast she's working. She already has got one post, got one coat, and a couple of this newels. Is that what those are called? No, what are those called? Spindles? So while my mom paints, my dad and I are working our way around the corner. So we have officially used that one entire pile, and I'm starting on that second pile. So, and I used a bunch of this pile. So probably total, I've used 2 piles, maybe a little bit less than 2 piles, just because I've taken from this one and now I'm taking from that one. So we're making it around the corner, and I had to get some more preen to put down. But I want to show you one thing here. There is 2 distinct colors here when it comes to the wood chips. We wanted to make sure that the front of the house had the same color, and these are the nicer quality. And then the second-ish quality are over here. And they look more like dirt. If this bothers you, this is probably not the way to go for your wood chips if you have a yard my size. If you have a smaller yard, you could get away with it because it would all be the same color. This does not bother me because it was free. Free is my favorite price. It is kind of a zero waste option because when you buy the bark chips, like the bark dust, those are actually dyed. They're dyed so that everything is the same color. This is a more natural look. I mean, ideally, I really like the really almost like black bark dust, but that's not in my budget right now. This is in my budget. And I would rather put the money into hiring Tomas to actually do the labor to kind of clear it out than to pay for the wood chips or the actual bark dust. So that's what we're doing. So, I mean, that is something to consider if you're doing something like this, that you could end up having 2 different colors, but this is kind of hidden. If I'm in my living room here, this area is actually hiding where that divide is between the 2 different colors, so I can't see it. So ignorance is bliss, right? This is the area Tomas is going to be working on tomorrow. But I'm really happy with the progress. When we bought this house, the area that was painted around the windows here.
Oh, they're hatching an egg. They're laying an egg.
And the paint that was painted around. Woo! That's okay. And the paint that was painted around this door, they only ever did 1 coat. So my mom is going ahead and we're going to just do the second coat to finish it out so that the white matches the railings now. It looks so much better. I mean, just look at this. You can actually see the porch now. You can see between the plants.
For $60.
For $60, she just said, because the paint and the roller was added up to be $60. So I'd say a pretty good investment for some nice curb appeal. We will need to do 1 more coat on the railings and the posts and things like that, but doesn't that just look so much better? I am absolutely loving it. It's amazing how when I actually pull up to my house now, I'm like kind of proud of it versus it just being a jungly mess and being kind of embarrassing. Today is the 3rd day that my dad and I have been working on this. The first day we did 6 hours. Yesterday we did about 2.5, and today I think we'll be at about 3. Can you even believe the difference from where we started on this area to where we are today? This has been a ton of work, but it's been worth every minute of it. What we did today is we mulched from here all the way around. We have mulched all the way to where my blueberries are. My blueberry plants are right there. In one of my garden tour videos, I showed me mulching around that area. And that's kind of what inspired me to mulch all this area with these wood chips, because it looks really good under those blueberries. And I think I did that like 2 or 3 months ago. And there's basically been no weeds that have come up from around my blueberries.
Well, I just wanted to say that the smallest little things you do around your home can make the biggest difference. Even though it's work, it's so much fun, so fulfilling, and can make such a beautiful change around your house.
And you guys know we need a new roof, so that's what we're saving for. So when we get that done, it's gonna look even better. But Tomas is gonna come tomorrow and he's gonna take care of this. And then my dad and I will probably, or I will mulch this a different day. We probably have maybe, did you look at the wood chip pile?
Yeah.
What?
3/4, I think, is gone.
So we probably have 1/4 of the wood chips left, and that should be enough, I think, to get that round area mulched. And for completely free, I probably would have spent, what, $2,000 on mulch if I bought mulch. So I think that's a good savings. I think the money invested in Tomas and having him do some of that labor of pulling out a lot of this stuff, because I don't know much about landscaping plants and how much you can cut them back and what will regrow and things like that. So I think it was totally worth the investment. My dad found him and he has done an incredible job putting that investment into him, and then my dad and I being the brunt labor to actually mulch this whole area with free wood chips. Don't forget, I will link chipdrop.com down in the description if you want to check that out. But I think we're going to end this vlog here. We did enough. That's 3 full days of us working, and it was a lot of work. I'm going to go take my parents out to dinner. They deserve a good dinner, and I'm going to put together a big basket of fresh produce for them. They're going to go to the beach this weekend, and then they can take some fresh produce to the beach with them. Thank you guys so much for all your hard work. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me as we got my front yard landscaping taken care of. I know you spend a lot of time with me in my backyard, but this is just making my heart happy to be able to pull up to this and see actually my house and not just a weedy jungle. Just with the last 2 days of improvements has just made my heart soar. I'm just so happy. It's amazing what a little bit of paint and a little bit of sweat equity will do. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me as we got a lot done. I appreciate every single one of you for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. I don't take that for granted. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new around here, consider subscribing. There will be more videos that will pop up right here if you want to go check those out. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.